r/AskMen. What are your instant regret moments with your so? My GF showed me a picture from her college track star days. Over the last few years we've grown more in love, and before my brain could process an intelligent response, I just blurted out, "Man, you used to be so skinny." "Oh, okay," as she walks away. "What have I done?" GIF. Airplane sweating. GIF. Edit. A lot of y'all need to learn to communicate with those you love better. Love is patient, love is kind. Edit. Part der. I've really enjoyed reading all of your responses while at work today. She did something that was just like her mother. I, of course, pointed that out, and I swear my soul was ripped from my body for a few moments from the stare she gave me. Unpopular opinion, it's damn hard not to turn into your parents. Turns out that genetics are kinda stronger than we are. My boyfriend asked me what my biggest insecurity was. Then he asked me if it was my nose. This was before we started dating. But did he get it right? It was actually her ears. Now it's her ears and nose. This one wasn't actually me, but my sister, sorry G. She and her boyfriend at the time had spent the night together for the first time, and she has a sensitive stomach and is frequently gassy. She woke up early and felt the urge to fart, and remembered that a friend had told her that if she scooches to the edge of the bed, pointing her butt out of the covers and uses her hand to slightly spread her butt cheeks, it would be silent and wouldn't be trapped under the covers. So she did exactly that and heard her new boyfriend say, what just happened?" Apparently she didn't realize there was a mirrored closet behind her and he had watched the entire thing. They are now happily married and trying to start a family. A friend of mine had to fart in front of her boyfriend, but since they've been together for a few years they're very comfortable with each other. So naturally, rather than hiding the fart, she tapped him lightly on the shoulder first, made eye contact and wiggled her eyebrows, lifted her leg, then projectile shat all over their bathroom floor through the leg of her romper. Was giving my GF a massage and told her she had no shoulders, meaning she had no muscles. Boy, did she take that the wrong way and thought I called her fat. Like the time my boyfriend told me I was soft, I took that as a compliment until he said, "No, I don't mean it in a good way, I mean soft like you have no muscles." He could have saved himself and gone with it, but he had to correct. It's been 4 years and I still haven't forgotten. My GF had a problems with super puffy hands and fingers after running. "Wow, your arms biceps look so puffy," she looked at me and said, "My arms have never been puffy." Also the time she wanted my honest opinion on her purple lipstick, there was a lot of tears. Oh god, the lipstick. My GF was getting into makeup and got new makeup which had a bright red lipstick she was super excited about, but I didn't know she was excited. She surprised me with it and I burst out laughing because I hadn't seen her wear lipstick before and she looked so cute. She hasn't ever worn that lipstick again and I feel bad about it years later. I suggested she name her dildo after the blue wiggle for obvious reasons, so Anthony. Coincidentally the name of her father that left before she was born I didn't realize. Was kinda awkward. My boyfriend and I were talking about glasses frames because I need new ones. Him, what do you think about clear ones? Me, nah, aren't those out of style now? I think they make people's faces look bad. Him, oh. Guess who has clear frames, and walked away sadly into the kitchen. I still feel bad. Normally he wears contacts. You heard him, sad face. I know. But now at night if he's already taken out his contacts sometimes he will yell things like, "Bet you think I'm ugly now, right?" From the bathroom. Was in a really abusive relationship for 3 years. Now with a wonderful woman. Woke up in the middle of the night after a particularly bad nightmare and turned over and accidentally kneed her gently and said, "Shit, name of X, I'm sorry." In my dumb sleepy phase. Instantly backpedaled after realizing what I'd done. She caught it but I made up some shit excuse and we let it go. I still think about it to this day. My partner did this to me a few weeks into our relationship. His ex was seriously physically abusive and he hadn't managed to turn off the alertness and fear of his ex yet. I didn't realize he was asleep and just swung the bedroom door open and he woke up panic yelling, "I'm sorry," ex's name. I didn't mean to fall asleep with his hands raised covering his face. I decided to be calm and just say that it was me and it's okay and snuggled on his chest for a nap. Generally people are totally understanding of that constant fear and ingrained reaction of panic when their partner has been in an abusive environment before. Your partner probably understood too. One day my girlfriend was texting me complaining about dealing with a certain coworker. The things she was complaining about were rather small, and I wasn't in a great mood and just wasn't ready to deal with it as I was also busy at work, so I made the mistake of texting her, "Hey, just relax." As soon as I saw the text send, I knew I had messed up bad. Reminds me of once when my at the time so was on a train to come home after she'd been away for a while. She called me at work angry and upset about something or other to do with the train ride, can't recall at the moment, but I was already nose deep in stress at work, trying to get shit done so I could leave and pick her up, and I said something along the lines of, "I'm sorry. You'll just have to deal with it for another hour." I wasn't trying to be dismissive, and 100% acknowledge that it comes across cold, which wasn't my intention, and I immediately tried to apologize and restate my meaning, but goddamn, you'd have thought I called her a stupid bitch. When I picked her up from the train station, she wouldn't hug me, wouldn't look at me without staring daggers. She didn't talk to me for days. I went to swipe a wasp away from my now wife on our first date. I accidentally slapped her, and then when I went to check if she was okay, elbowed her, bringing my arm back down. Also, around fifth date I was carrying the bags back to the car and my wife asked if she can help as she was only carrying one bag. I replied, "No, it's fine, you're carrying enough weight already." She stopped dead and just stared at me while she processed this. She took it all very well but likes to remind me every now and then. One time we were making out early in the relationship and I paused the session to ask something. He, disappointed at the interruption, said, "You know, you're bad at making out." Then I watched his brain catch up to his mouth and an expression of "what have I done, oh no, instant regret" cross his face. I laughed my ass off. We've been together 5 years. I have not forgotten. We met in high school, so I pretty much did anything I could to impress her. She said she didn't like bananas, so for almost 6 years I've pretended to despise bananas and have to turn in an Oscar-worthy performance whenever I'm around her and we see one. I'm in too deep now, I have to eat them in secret. It's a heavy burden. That's bananas. Not my but my date, which was a transfer student from abroad still learning my language. We were casually talking birthdays, and hers happened to be in September, so I asked her, "Are you a Virgo?" Problem is, that in my language we use the same word for Virgo and virgin, so I looked up and she was looking at me terrified for a second before I did an instant regret (TM) and explained that in my language Virgo and virgin are the same word. First date with now wife. Thai food. Great. We loved it. Awesome time. Dropped her off at home. Went inside to talk more since it was winter. After a 13-hour work day and a date, I promptly passed out. About an hour later, she's on the other couch dozing and watching me sleep. Well, what I haven't mentioned is that Thai food does a few things to me. 1. Makes me insanely sleepy apparently. 2. Gives me loud farts. 3. I'd been holding one in off and on again for the better part of 2 hours. 4. I have PTSD and regularly jerk awake ready to fight. There I am, snoozing along with her, peacefully dozing, when incredibly that same fart decides to pull a sneaky escape. Due to the noise I jerk awake and start swinging. Either from the fart or the instant giggling from the other couch. I instantly realize what's happened and act like I'm asleep still. 10+ years and 4 kids later I still cringe about it. Probably not anything but cringy embarrassment. This might not be what you were looking for in the op, but, man, I still think about it once a week randomly. Edit, mobile finger typos and syntax. We were taking a shower together. I was super gassy. I opened the shower curtain to fart. It smelled terrible and the smell wasn't going away. Turns out I had sharted on the edge of the shower. My handled it very well but immediately got out. Edit, didn't realize this was on AskMen, so obligatory, I'm not a man but. Greater than I'm not a man but. This just makes it 10x better. Girl here. I sharted in my pants in front of him after only a few months of dating. My stomach was being strange and he had just finished making breakfast when I realized my sneaky silent fart had betrayed me, so I sprinted to the bathroom in shame. Left him sitting very confused with a slowly cooling meal for like half an hour. I wasn't planning on telling him, but it was just so ridiculous and gross that I blurted it out, much like the shart, when I came back, and thank God he thought it was hilarious and strangely adorable for some unknown reason. Took video footage of an unstable ex who'd blow up at me for no reason periodically, and when she calmed down I showed it to her. You can imagine the reaction. It was considered an act of assholeness, not one of justifying why I was right, which I kind of understand from her view. That's when I knew it was over. I'm sure I got the idea from Everybody Loves Raymond. And that's how it went down, badly. I secretly did this one of the many times my ex-boyfriend was angrily screaming abuse at me. When I told him and tried to show him, he took my phone and smashed it into pieces on the ground. Jesus. I guess it could have went down worse for me hearing that. I hope he's history and you're not willing to put up with that childish nonsense anymore. Being an emotional punching bag isn't fun, never mind phone smashing or whatever else he did to you. I think my situation was misplaced venting. That guy sounds inches away from getting physical over it. He might not have done it, but Christ, that's a big red flag and precursor to physical abuse. I'm glad you got out. I'm 5 feet 0 inches. My boyfriend and I were at a party, and I met a friend of his called Tanya. Conversation in the car after the party. Me, wow, Tanya is really sweet. And she's hot. Him, well, she's short, so she automatically falls into the cute category. My 5 feet 0 inches ass then just said, "Oh," and he immediately realized what he said and frantically tried to backpedal. It was pretty funny. I was not offended. But I did bring it up every so often to annoy him. Edit, formatting. I think he was trying to avoid calling her hot but didn't think far enough ahead. Yep, pretty sure that's what had happened. Sometimes I get an idea that just feels hilarious but isn't. One time, I took my girlfriend of 2.5 years to a fancy restaurant. The napkins were black, and so for some reason I got the idea that I could fold it up like an engagement ring box and fake propose. So I did. I laughed to myself as I fold up the napkin into a box shape. I really quickly dropped out of my seat on one knee at the edge of the table and said something like, "You're my best friend and the love of my life." And in that instant I knew what I had done. I saw her light up to the highest of highs, and then immediately drop into the lowest of lows. The rest of the dinner was awkward, but she forgave me. We got engaged for real a year later, and we've been married 4 years now and are expecting a little girl in January. It all worked out in spite of me. Yeah, my ex did nearly the same thing while we were on vacation in Mexico. Super beautiful resort, last night there, sunset, super romantic, the whole deal. Led me up to an altar where you could see the resort and the beach, took both my hands, leaned in and whispered, "What would you do if I pretended to tie my shoe right now?" We broke up roughly 3 weeks later. I have been with a woman for 7 years now. Pretty much since we were teens. I have always told her I wasn't ticklish. Of course she has tested this theory many times and I always keep a straight face just long enough for her to lose interest and stop tickling because it seems ineffective. I told her this because I didn't want her to hold the ticklish power over me because I knew she would abuse it. It started off as a joke to myself and never thought I'd last this long pretending not to be ticklish. Maybe about a year ago I thought to myself, this is silly to keep this up, I should just tell her I'm screaming in laughter on the inside when she tries to tickle me face with tears of joy. So I did, I told her I was ticklish and now she tickles me. The end. I've learned the hard way that the tickling power is too much. It's barely been a month but if she gets annoyed with me, it's tickling time and I can't do anything about it because I'm really ticklish and she isn't. Sue, my ex was a random bar hookup turned into relationship. The second or third time hooking up, seeing each other we finished up and he proceeds to say something along the lines of, "Wow, that was the best I've ever had," to which I responded jokingly because I'm awkward and stupid and, to be honest, didn't want him to get cocky, "Yeah, that was great, definitely top 5. I thought I was playing hard to get, but instead I gave him a complex. And it didn't help that he was recently out of a 9-year relationship to which he lost his 20s and I had been single for years so I had naturally been with more people than him. The relationship realistically never should have progressed past that point, but it did, and that moment got brought up all the damn time. We really never had a chance. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more Reddit stories like this.